Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to speak to you both. How are you doing today?
Great.
Yeah, good. Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Nice to meet you.
Must be early over there.
It's actually 3:30.
Oh,
Not gone
late.
dark
Okay,
yet.
never
Yeah.
mind. Sorry, we're sorry, I
We're in
got that.
different time zones, though.
Yeah.
So the marvelous Mrs. Maisel just seems to have struck a chord with so many people. Whether it's the beautiful sets, the humor, the rhythm of it. It's just such a joy to watch. What has been the appeal for both of you being involved with the show and made you want to come back for another season?
I mean, for me, it's everything. It's the cast, the creatives, the writing, the crew. It feels like family. So, every time we get to come back is just a joy. I mean, I love everyone involved. There's no egos. We're all friends. We're all family. So, it's just so much fun.
And for you, Luke?
Yeah, it's just a charm to be able to participate in it, and it's the wheels are well greased, and everybody kind of elevates their bar every year, and it makes playing make believe sort of seamless and kind of feel kind of there's an ease to kind of going into that world that's really a joy, and to be we live here, so it's nice to work at home and celebrate the city we live in. And yeah, it's kind of like if you get the show and you see the show and you see how it pops and still kind of resonates in the beat of the heart, that's what it's like to work on it. It has a kind of, it's touched with a little magic. I think born out of hard work, but yeah, it's just it's a joy.
And you both played quite different men in Midge's life. So how do you see that relationship that your character has with her character? And what can viewers expect, for that to develop in season 4?
Well, Lenny and Midge haven't had a wedding yet. So I'm waiting for that to happen.
And yeah, and Joel and Midge, I mean, they have a very complicated relationship. It's, back and forth. They still have children together, so there's still love there. And I think there always will be love there. And everybody's always asking me, what's the end game? Are Joel and Midge going to get back together? And I have no idea. They always ask, and I always tell them the same thing. I mean, I'm just as much of a fan as anybody else. And even I don't know what I'd like to see from those two. So, and I don't know. I mean, nobody tells me anything.
They treat each other though with a kind of dignity that's really nice and refreshing. They're for all of their kind of foibles, they're so responsible with each other, and it's
they are
so nice to see two people do that occasionally.
Yeah, but they do argue, and it's those arguments that make you realize, oh yeah, I don't know if they're right for each other. But those scenes they're my favorite to play. I love the arguments because in my mind, it's almost as if, oh, maybe they are right for each other. Like these arguments only kind of cement their love for each other in my view.
And of course, her being a stand-up comedian, one of the biggest threads running through the whole show is the humor. But I can see that each of those scenes must take so much preparation for the dialogue to flow in the way it does. Often it's very quick fire. It's very witty. Not a beat is missed. So, what is it like acting out those scenes, and what is the preparation like to make sure that they all flow so seamlessly?
Well, you gotta know your lines. I think that's first and foremost. But we all come from a theatrical background, and at least most of us do. And to me, it feels like theater when we're actually filming the episodes, when we're filming these scenes. I mean, it really does feel like theater. A lot of the times we don't cut. We have these oneers, they're called, where the camera just keeps rolling and it's following us here, and we open a door and we go in there and it follows us down the stairs, that kind of thing. And to me, it's very theatrical. You know, the only difference is if you screw up a line, you could start from the top again. You don't have to make up something to get you through. But yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, in order to get to that point, you need to know your lines, and because it is rapid fire, and it's, you know, half the time you do a scene and you think you were great and you think you were fast enough, and then Amy will come up to you and say, you know, pace it up, and you're like, I have no idea how I can pace this up, but you just do it.
And for you, Luke, I mean, do you ever actually get nervous about doing the bits on stage? Does it feel a little bit like being an actual stand-up comedian?
No,
or is it a bit more protected than that?
It's definitely protected because, you know, there's people there that are either told to laugh or not laugh at certain moments. But I have to say that when it's kind of flowing, it feels just like so great to have people kind of respond that way. The actors who, you know, play in the audience are always so just effusive and have such alacrity, and they're just so like there, you know, and they do it all day in these like nasty little sweaty smoky rooms, and they're kind of the backbone for doing all of those routines. They're just amazing, and yeah, it feels great. I mean, the thing with the pace is, it's true, you do have to kind of know everything. I think, you know, I don't envy Rachel's position because she has to be there every day, so she's learning her stuff for the next day, you know, whenever she can find time. And, you know, I'm in this kind of privileged position of generally having a lot of time granted to learn both scenes, but especially Lenny's routines, which are, you know, all based on recordings, you know, and so I can really get to spend a lot of time with that, and Amy and Dan provide me that, and so it's just lucky.
And there are just so many fascinating female characters in this show. So as much as it's on one level just incredible entertainment, there's also a lot going on in terms of, you know, if you're looking back at what was expected of women in that era, and how Midge's character is really kind of breaking out of that in so many exciting ways. And, you know, Rachel and Alex, particularly, like the rapport between their characters, that they play it so well. So how do you think that the some of the themes in the program chime with today? And what is it like working with this incredible cast of female actresses?
Luke, you want to take that?
Sure. I mean, it's, you know, it's fantastic. Most of the stuff that I do is with Rachel, you know, in terms of how it resonates with today, you know, like all storytelling, it kind of is meant to kind of reflect something back, either, you know, by that feeling of like, oh, that's how things used to be, or also, oh shit, nothing's really changed, you know, that kind of weird dynamic that history has as we sort of always venture forward. I can't speak to the experience, but I think the show, you know, does provide that. It also provides a real satisfaction in you know, how, you know, Midge is a real voice, and you know, she knows how to be there for herself in a way that I think is kind of inspiring for everybody who's kind of, you know, anybody, you know. So I like Midge. I look to her as a kind of hero, and for the most part, she makes some poor decisions along the way, but, you know, that's part of the game.
Well, you know, in terms of working with so many funny ladies, we have, I mean, probably the funniest lady is Amy Sherman Palladino, who, you know, provides us with this incredible material, and, you know, she's our boss. And yeah, I mean, you know, we look up to her, and I mean, she, you know, we're run by a very smart, talented, funny, powerful woman. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's really nice. So take note, world.
Indeed. Well, I think I'm out of
the
time.
water's warm over here.
I'm out of time, but it's been absolutely amazing to speak to you both. Thank you so much. And I can't wait for everyone
Thanks,
else
Sarah.
to see season 4 as well.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Cheers.